Take a seat right over there. I have some questions for you. How's it going? We all probably know who says that, the opening line for almost every To Catch a Predator with Chris Hanson. I've always really enjoyed that show. It's kind of funny seeing these guys get caught up in sting operations. They're trying to talk their way out of it, but it just makes no sense what they're saying. They give the same excuses. It's just, on one hand it's kind of pathetic, but it's also kind of funny, right? But there's also an important takeaway from those shows, because Chris Hansen comes across, occasionally he comes across a real predator, like a guy that is dangerous and he needs to be locked up. But most of the time, he just comes across normal looking people. Sometimes they're even pretty young themselves, right? And they're just trying to set up a date with an underage girl or boy. But most of the time, 90% of the time, they're not predatory, or they don't seem like a predator. They just seem like a normal person. And I think there's an important takeaway in that. First off, let me know in the comments, have you seen To Catch a Predator or Chris Hansen's new show Takedown? If so, what are your thoughts? What are your favorite episodes? Let me know down below in the comments. But the most important takeaway, I think, from this show, first off, don't be a creep online and don't try to meet underage kids. Right? That was obvious. But second, and less obvious, is that I think the show conveys to us that sometimes, a lot of times, people are not what they seem to be. Normal people can turn out to be predators. Normal people can turn out to be creeps. Normal looking people can turn out to be the worst people we could ever meet. And I feel we all fell into that trap at one point or another. Maybe we were younger, we had to learn, maybe we're still going through that. But I think it's important to note that just because somebody looks a certain way or looks quote unquote normal or professional, it doesn't mean they actually are professional or actually are a good person. Because that's the thing about human nature. We love to put on a face, a mask, to try to disguise who we really are and cover up our flaws, compensate for our flaws. And just like on To Catch a Predator, where we see a lot of normal looking guys who are clearly flawed, clearly they're messed up in some way. And Chris Hansen never gets to the bottom of it, unfortunately. I think he's been trying for 20 years. He cannot get to the bottom of it. But that's how it is sometimes. People are how they are. And sometimes it's not our place to get to the bottom of it. Sometimes we just need to look past somebody's appearance, not sympathize with them or not be empathetic or not project ourselves onto them, but take their actions into consideration. If somebody does something, somebody reaches out to an underage girl and starts talking about inappropriate things, you need to take that at face value. If somebody treats us poorly around others, you need to take that into consideration. Do not be surprised, do not be thrown off if somebody does it. If somebody you thought looked like a good person turns out to have some flaw, some issue, and they hurt you in some way, first off, don't take it too personally. It's not a slight against you, most likely. It is just who they are. It says a lot more about their character than your character. So don't take it personally. But second off, don't ignore it. If someone does something and then they say, oh, that's not me, I'm going through a lot of stress or whatever, do not listen to them. That is them. They just showed you who they are. So always pay attention and always just stay detached to a degree. Don't become overly emotionally invested in others, and don't be thrown off if they hurt you or if they prove to be something they're not. But guys, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to the channel and share this with anybody you think might find it enjoyable.